This movie is the prequel to X, where we see a young Pearl. Her mother Ruth sends her to the barn to do her homework. Pearl believes she is special and longs for a life outside the barn to become a movie star. A goose appears, and since Pearl is very crazy, she kills the goose for no reason and throws it into the lake to feed it to the alligator, and that's how it begins. Welcome to Random Recaps. In this video, I am going to recap the movie. In 1918, during the influenza pandemic, Pearl is a young woman living with her German immigrant parents on their Texas farm. Pearl's father is ill and paralyzed, and her mother is very strict, insisting that she help care for him and the farm. Pearl's husband, Howard, serves in World War I and sends her letters telling her how he is doing and that he loves her.
A loving husband. Yeah.
Pearl goes to town to buy medicine for her father, so she takes the opportunity to go to the movies. After leaving the movies, Pearl meets a young projectionist who offers her to smoke and see another movie for free.
Mom was expecting me, but I appreciate
The young man cuts out a part of the movie and gives it to Pearl. Going back home on her bike, Pearl loses the part of the movie. She goes to look for it in the cornfields. She finds a scarecrow, throws it to the ground, and starts dancing with it and kissing it, imagining it's the projectionist.
I'm married!
And then she imagines having sex with him. Back home, her mother scolds her for taking so long. After that, Pearl inflicts pain on her father to see if he moves by squeezing his neck tightly.
Bruh.
At dinner, her mother scolds her because 8 cents are missing. Pearl says she ate a candy on the way,
It's my hard candy for the trip home.
and her mother says, well, too bad, because you're not eating anymore. Because she doesn't have much money, Ruth asks Pearl to be more careful about spending money. After that, she asks Jesus to make her a star. The next day, we see Pearl's sister-in-law, Mitzi. She talks about an audition that will be held at the church to find new dancers, to tour 7 different cities.
We should go together then.
Pearl gets excited to go, so she looks for something to wear, and that night she escapes from the house. Pearl goes to visit the projectionist. Pearl tells him about the dance auditions, and the projectionist encourages her to do it. After that, the guy puts on a movie he acquired from France. When watching it, Pearl realizes it's a porn film.
You disgust me. Go on.
Pearl tells him she doesn't like the reality she lives in, and she wishes her parents were dead so she could do what she wants.
Only they would just die.
Back at her house, Pearl hears her mother crying. The next day, she takes her father to the lake.
That's good.
She calls the alligator.
That's bad.
She says goodbye to her father, and when she thought she was going to throw him in, her mother arrives.
What are you doing?
After that, she realizes that the alligator has eggs. She takes one and puts it in the barn. But then she breaks it. Later at dinner, the mother finds Pearl's things. Pearl tells her about the audition, but the mother refuses to let her go. The two start arguing. Ruth tells Pearl that she is ungrateful for wanting to escape. She also tells her that she is not well and that she sees evil in her. Ruth gets up and gives the knife to Pearl so she can do what she wants to do.
That's what you really desire, isn't it?
She even ironically suggests killing her father. Ruth asks her what she wants, and Pearl says,
Don't want him to block you is all.
so Ruth slaps her, and Pearl slaps her back. Meanwhile, her father.
What the fuck is going on?
Pearl pushes her mother into the fireplace, causing her to burn, so she pours some water on her. Pearl takes her burned mother to the basement. Her father looks at her in fear, and Pearl flees the house and goes to the projectionist to have sex with him. The next morning, she wakes up, and the projectionist takes her to the farm. Then she gets scared because she thought the man passing by was her husband. Pearl enters the house and apologizes to her father,
Daddy, I'm so sorry.
then takes him to his room and gives him his medicine. The guy feels disturbed by a worm-infested roasted pig that Mitzi's mother had left for Ruth the day before. Pearl introduces him to her father, and then they kiss in Pearl's room, she telling him she wants to leave forever. The guy starts hearing noises, and he realizes Pearl is acting weird.
What's the matter with you?
The guy realizes there's food on the floor, and Pearl says,
It's our dog. She made a mess in the kitchen while I was away, so I put her in the root cellar.
To distract him, Pearl shows him her animals. The guy asks about her dog. Pearl says they don't have a dog. which makes the projectionist think there's something weird about Pearl and he wants to leave.
Nice seeing you, Pearl.
Pearl realizes the guy is acting cold towards her. The guy insists on leaving out of fear, and Pearl gets angry about it. So Pearl, being crazy, grabs a pitchfork and stabs him. But that's not enough for her, so she chases him, pulls him out of the car, and stabs him again.
Stop! He's already dead.
Then she goes to see her mother and throws her to the ground. And being a good daughter, she goes to clean her father. Although his father is very scared,
She wouldn't look at me like that.
Pearl gets ready to go to her audition and dresses her father up in a fancy outfit just to suffocate him to death.
What?
And then she throws the projectionist into the lake for the alligator to eat him. Pearl arrives at the church where the audition is being held. There, before entering, Misty asks Pearl to go first because she's nervous. Pearl starts the audition. She does her dance act that she believes she can win with. After finishing her dance, the talent scouts say,
Gonna be a no.
Come on now, dawg. Come on.
Pardon?
they tell her no because they already have a lot of girls like her and they're looking for a blonde, a typical American girl. Pearl is very saddened and sees the image of her burned mother on the jury. Misty finds her crying and takes her to her house. In the kitchen, Pearl confesses to her that she feels there is something wrong with her. And she had never told anyone because of the fear of what they would say about her, not even her husband. Misty encourages her to confess everything she feels. So she confesses to Misty about her resentment towards Howard for leaving her there alone. She feels bad for cheating on Howard with someone else that she didn't even like. She confesses that she feels lucky that Howard was interested in her, a poor farmer, while Howard is rich and privileged. Meanwhile, Misty is getting scared. Pearl loved where Howard lived, but Howard wanted to stay on the farm, which angered Pearl. Pearl says she was pregnant and she hated the child growing inside her, so she aborted it. She also confesses to the deaths she caused and how good they made her feel, especially to her father, since he didn't deserve it. After confessing everything to her, Misty is speechless and scared, wanting to leave. Pearl tells her she's glad for her for passing the audition, although Misty tells her she didn't pass the audition. But Pearl insists that she did. So Misty says yes.
You guys get everything you want.
I'm so fucking scared right now, you shut up!
Pearl tells her no one should know what she confessed to her. Misty leaves the house, Pearl grabs an axe and starts chasing her.
Run, bitch! Run!
She trips and Pearl kills her. Then she goes down to the basement to see her mother, and she lies in her arms. Then she combs her, cuts Misty into pieces, and feeds her to the alligator. Then Pearl arranges everyone for dinner, and she tells her mother that she loves her. The next day, Howard returns from the war and to his horror finds the bodies of Pearl's parents sitting at the table around the rotten pig. Pearl greets him with a long and painful smile.
I'm so happy you're home.
That is, literally she keeps smiling throughout the credits, while crying. And that's how the movie ends.